USC. I'm going to Barnard College, JHU, Uchicago,
Princeton, Yale University,
Harvard, the University of Pennsylvania.
Why did you choose this college?
So I was deciding between USC and UC Berkeley, and I think the biggest turn on. I think the biggest difference that set it apart for me is because I'm going there for communications. I'm into like the entertainment industry, and they have a whole school for communications. There's all of these different courses within communication that I can take, but then at Berkeley there's only, the closest thing is media studies, and it's in their general school. So if there's a whole school for the major that I'm going for, that means there's definitely a lot more resources and attention on that major, and people respect it more. And definitely USC is probably better for media and entertainment and film and arts, and that's what I'm into. So based on my personal interests, I think USC fits me a lot better, and I think I'll like the community at USC a lot more than Berkeley. But Berkeley is still a great school.
I chose JHU because first of all, JHU is known for bio and medicine. So especially if I'm going the bio route, I feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunities and people that I can meet, and like a lot of professors at the front end of this area. And then another thing is that JHU is really known for their research and their institutions, especially because it's next to DC. So a lot of like the research headquarters like NIH and stuff, they're also really close. So I thought that would be a good opportunity for me to be able to like intern and do research at these places. So I chose JHU.
I was debating between Barnard College and UCLA, but I was admitted into UCLA for biochemistry, and while I am leaning towards bio, I'm like not super sure about what I want to do. Also, I'm a big city girl, so New York City was just more appealing to me.
I honestly think it's just the characteristics and the vibe fits me more. Uchicago is more known for like more theoretical learning rather than like application based. So if you're someone who's more like, I guess, philosophical, or you kind of like thinking a lot more than like applying in some sense, then I feel like Uchicago really fits you.
I felt like Princeton was my top choice for a couple reasons. One being that I really loved the environment. When I visited, I was very fortunate to actually visit it in person before COVID, and it gave me a really good idea of what it was like. There were a lot of faculty that I contacted, and I was very supportive. And another thing that I really love about it is that it's a school that really gives you as many resources as you need for your like upperclassmen research projects and whatever. Like they let you travel and let you like embark on a lot of different journeys to really pursue whatever you want academically, and I think that's really cool.
So in 9th grade, I found out I really liked business because I attended a business summer program in Shanghai with my friends. I was like, I want to do this in the future, so I had my eyes on Wharton because it was like the best business school in the United States. And then after doing some more research, I was really impressed by how many different concentrations in business Wharton offered compared to other business schools. Like it was very diverse, and there's just so many opportunities, and Wharton really emphasized intertwining different academic subjects with business, so that was really cool.
During RDs, I was mainly considering between Yale and CMU Computer Science as my two schools. And basically, they represent two very different ideas of what you want out of your undergrad experience. CMU SCS would have been a much more technical approach, and Yale would have offered a much more liberal arts education. And fundamentally, I realized that I'm probably still looking for a more balanced education during my undergrad years. I'm not sure if I want to specialize yet. And I want to make sure that I want to build up myself as a person and not just as a computer scientist. And so that is why fundamentally I realized that I wanted to choose Yale, and that there will be plenty of opportunities to specialize later.
I think first of all, I wanted to be on the East Coast because when I lived in the US, that's where I grew up and stuff. So I was just more comfortable going to an East Coast school. And I think among like the different East Coast schools, I wanted to be in like more of a city area. So I chose Harvard for Boston.
Name 1 to 2 extracurriculars.
Okay, I guess my biggest thing at school was I was the president of a dance club called Dance Society, and we host performances and we host workshops. Yeah, in the summer of my freshman year, I started doing this summer camp for children, and I started doing that every single summer, and yeah, that taught me a lot.
First one is definitely research. I've been doing research for all of the past 4 years of my high school. Another thing is probably being the president of the Science National Honor Society at my school. We hosted like a science fair together with other Shanghai international schools. So I think these two activities really played an important role, or they were like some of the activities that I really cared a lot about and spent a lot of time on.
One of the biggest things I did at school was captaining the cross-country team, and I think having that on your application kind of shows you have an active side, I guess. Something I did outside of school is I interned at this clinic, and I did it every Saturday, like the entire day, for for a year.
I did do a lot of research for psychology, but also it's more concentrated because I'm personally more interested in social cognition, so that's mainly where I wrote my papers on. And another one is probably like a personal project. I did have this like TikTok account where I kind of like spread awareness about mental health issues, but also like it's more informational based rather than just like spreading awareness on like how many people gets it or how bad it is.
Varsity baseball, being captain the last 2 years has been like a really great experience for me, and it's been a great learning experience in terms of leadership in an athletic sport, and it's been really awesome in terms of my own personal growth as well. Something outside of school would probably be a project that I worked on with a few friends, in which we co-created a musical in our sophomore year, and it was about Shanghai in the 1930s, and it was something that we all worked on for a very long time, and we're all very proud of it.
I was like in the student council for 3 years. I was president of a lot of clubs, and I participated in 2 varsity sports, so yeah.
Probably research is my first one. I did a lot of research throughout my high school years in computer science and data science, specifically machine learning. The second most important activity probably would have been math contests, the AMC, IME, and USMO sequence.
I think my main extracurricular is probably debate. I've done it since I was in middle school, and I am captain of the national team. And aside from debate, I also did some research and stuff. Yeah.
What did you do in the summer as a rising senior?
Oh man, that was actually the most stressful summer of my life because we had COVID. So I was supposed to take my SAT March of my junior year, and then the day before SAT, they told us it was canceled, so I couldn't take March. And then I was gonna take May, but that didn't happen either. So then I could only take my SAT the August of my senior year, which meant I had to prep for SAT the entire summer. So on top of prepping for SAT, I was doing an internship for communications. That was like a 2-week every single day for like 9 to 5. And then on top of that, we had to continue running our camp for kids. So yeah, it was like in the morning I would do my internship or do the camp or whatever, and then at night I would go home and study SAT, and then I also had to write my college ups, so that was not fun.
My senior summer was the least stressful out of the other 3-4 summers in high school. I purposely didn't pack it that much because I need to save time for writing my college application and starting to write my essays. Another thing is that similar to Sarah, I also had to prep for SAT during my summer. And then the last thing I had in my summer was a 2-week camp where I did my iGen research. So it was a pretty chill summer, not gonna lie.
I think my summer was pretty chill compared to a lot of others because COVID happened. So I was in Hawaii on vacation, but I did have a lot of time to write my college apps, and I did do 2 summer programs.
I just knew what I wanted to do like really late compared to other people, so I did have to cram a lot of things in summer. I did a pre-college summer program, and then I also competed in the John Locke writing competition, and I also wrote a research paper, and then along with SAT prep.
I think my summer was also pretty chill. I didn't pack it with too many things. I had a pretty short summer program, and the only other big thing outside of writing essays was I had to do a lot of auditions, like audition prep, and going to recording studios and doing like many hours of like redoing takes on certain pieces. But outside of that, I just kind of gave myself ample time to finish my essays and had a good time.
It was pretty chill like everyone else, but like I had 2 summer programs, and I mainly was a lot on vacation and I worked on my essays.
For me as well, senior year summer was actually probably the most chill out of all of these summers, and I mainly just focused on doing some research for colleges, and then basically like writing my essays, and then obviously like still practicing some math contest stuff, but it wasn't as high stakes as before.
I went on vacation to Europe, and I also went to Worlds for debate. And one thing I didn't do was I didn't start my college essays, which was not a good choice. You should start them in the summer.